Hello there, lovely people. This is Ashley here, sending my love to you from the middle of realities to whatever reality you find yourself in today. Well, to be honest, this is not. I wanted to make a video about some other things, but this last shift has been immense. It has been immense. We're still in shift. We're still moving. We haven't settled yet, but there are a number of topics that I want to talk about. Just because they're all completely mingled together with what's going on at the minute, the shift that we're still in the middle of. Now, I really can't. I don't know where to start. It's that freaky. It's all that freaky. I don't know where to start. Well, first of all, we'll start with with Google Earth, the most recent Google Earth that we all look at. Well, that's changed. It's changed massively because Britain has changed. My own country's changed. It's not changed before. I mean, things in the country had changed, i.e. now the Yorkshire Dales is like eating up quite a lot of the northwest. And anybody that's British, you'll understand that. Anybody that isn't, it means nothing to you. But believe me, it's a massive thing to have happened without anybody having heard of it. But there's actual physical changes to my country now that I never saw before. Big cancerous looking lumps seem to have appeared on the dog leg at the end of Britain. It's called the dog leg at the end of Britain. That's got much shorter. It seems to have a little claw on the end of it like this. Land's End has got a claw now, and there are two massive like cancerous lumps on it, and it's got shorter. And then the dip in it, Cardiff in Wales used to come down a bit. Now it's a massive cancerous lump. So my own country's changed. I know I'm sounding surprised when the globe's been changing for so long, but I've not actually seen a physical change to my own country yet, and there I have it. It's there on Google Earth. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about why I look like this, it's because we've got ridiculous degree heat going on here in Britain at the minute. We've been hotter than ever. We've reached 37 degrees today, and at the minute it's 29 degrees now where I am at night time. So you can see I'm literally dripping with it. So that's why I look like this, because it's stuffy and very humid. So please bear with me. There's nothing I can do about this, but I couldn't wait until we had better weather to talk about these things because, yeah, my own country's changed. And so, I mean, my dad was in the army as a child, and I'm an army brat, and I lived in Germany for some time, and Germany was landlocked, and not just because of West Germany and East Germany, because, but because it was always landlocked where I come from. That's the first thing. And then suddenly, not only it changed already to become, to have an actual, like, beach and, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think. It's late and I'm tired. Yeah, they're on the beach. They've now next to the sea, they have. But then this change has got really peculiar because now a whole peninsula has come up and half of it is Germany and the other bit of it is Denmark. So now, on the map, Germany is attached to Denmark via a sticky-out peninsula that never used to be there. And then I'll talk about Italy. I mean, we can see that Sicily's been getting closer and closer to Italy and getting bigger and bigger, but now it literally looks like it is booting it. It looks a bit like it's literally about to launch it off the foot. So massive changes to the globe. And yeah, you're right, there's still no North Pole on it, with no explanation from Google as to why they're not showing the North Pole, because here in my reality I've got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff on Google that's telling me that my reality has the North Pole in it still. However, talking about my reality, this is the main reason why I'm actually making this video, because you see, it's only by talking to each other that we actually we can put layers in our understanding of what's going on with us. I'm not saying or claiming to know why it's happening or how it's happening, but it's just what is happening. And it's through talking to you lot, through talking to other people, you guys, that I have realised that First of all, we don't share the same realities. We're not experiencing the same realities at the same time. That's become quite clear. And in fact, right now, I'm not even sharing the same reality with myself, because which sounds really weird, but it's because, like, earlier on today, on my Google News feed, it showed me a link to quantum, a quantum link about quantum computers, and it said in that that we're far off developing quantum computers yet. That's what it said on my Google News feed. We're far off from developing quantum computers. So I posted it to the group that, our little group, our little family. And the reason why we have that is because we share with each other on there. We're not all going through the same realities at the same time, but we can show each other that information just purely by, posting it online. And why we can talk to each other online, I don't know, but we can. So across realities, we can talk to each other. And it's through, you wonderful guys that are already on, the little Facebook group, you posting your reality, like Vanessa with her Torred. Her reality has got the country of Torred, Andorra, is turning into Torred in front of her very eyes. And in fact, I can't remember his name now, another member of the group, he started to see mention of things to do with Torred around Andorra. So, and when I look online, there's nothing about Torred at all except for the usual. It's I've heard people say that it was just a fictional book, but it wasn't actually a fictional book. It was based on a man who actually went to a, the story was true about a man who actually did go to an airport, and his country of Torred wasn't recognised. It wasn't just a fictional book, and there was links to that as well. But my friend Vanessa, it's changing in front of her eyes into another country, and there is actually residue online that shows the little tiny bit that's Andorra being called Torred in some maps. So we're in between some realities. But the main thing I'm saying is that this morning I had the link to quantum computers, but 4 hours later another link on my Google was talking about how they were just about on the verge of making the fastest, the most spectacular, 200 times faster than any other quantum computer that's ever been before. 4 hours apart. That's different, totally different history. Within 4 hours, in my own reality. In 4 hours, just 4 hours, it changed from, because I actually posted in the group and I went, technology's gone backwards. And then a few hours later, it's like, oh no, we're back. Technology's absolutely bloody marvellous. But within 4 hours, that changed. The reality changed within 4 hours. So we're far from stopping this shift. This shift has not finished yet. We're all still going through it. I know we are. Another thing that I found, which was, I'll go back to it again. One of the first things I started to keep track of was Mount Rushmore, because going online, on forums online, I could see that people were sharing pictures of Mount Rushmore that I'd never seen before, where it had been finished. And I'm like, no, in my reality, it was never finished, obviously because of the war came and it was never finished. However, to these people, it was finished in 1988. So they were arguing with me, saying that I'm a fool because I'm Mandela affected, when they know in their reality it was actually, and they posted links to show me that it was, they were proving to me that I'm misremembering, because to them it was it was completed in 1988. Anyway, up on my Google Newsfeed yet again, up popped a Reddit thing where a man had posted a news article from the Vancouver, I can't remember what it's called, the Vancouver Journal or something, I can't remember what it's called, but there's pictures and everything where it's telling us that Mount Rushmore was actually dismantled. There was a campaign to get it pulled down, and they demolished it, they blew it up. I think it was because it wasn't, it also talked about the war starting in 1936 in this article. And when somebody questioned me about it, how did you get hold of that? It's because clearly the person that posted that, that's his reality. In his reality, it was all demolished. And I've seen photographic evidence of it being demolished, and the newspaper report that was with it was quite clear. They demolished it. So there's all these different realities that people swear by. But it's not my reality. It's probably not yours either. But it shows that we're not all sharing the same reality at the same time. We don't all come from the same place. I'm not from Sagittarius. I'm from Orion. You're from Sagittarius, the original one. Many people still don't realise that Sagittarians didn't just move to this Orion and is now mingling with this Orion. This Orion is different from my original Orion. And that comes to my last point, the most amazing thing of all for me. And that is, Vincent, thank you so much for sharing. Because my largest Mandela effect of all is the fact that I talk to people from the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way. Okay? After everything that I've actually, my own personal stuff, the main thing for me, the most mind-blowing thing of all for me, is that I'm talking to people from the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way. That's effing crazy. I accept it, but that's amazing to me. Anyway, thanks to Vincent, he posted, he's got residue of the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way, and this is where it gets really freaky. It's in exactly the same place as my old Orion. It's just called the Sagittarius arm. And I've already said that the Sagittarius world didn't mirror, because mirror's back to front, but it was like a twin. Only my Orion Earth was a bit smaller than your Sagittarius. But it's in the same place. So that's another layer that we have to think about. And this is why it's so important that we talk to each other. And that if you, I can't share the things that, I can post some links, and I'll post them on the comments. I pin them to the comments because somehow YouTube won't let me pin it to the description. But it's much better if we can show each other what Google is saying our reality is at any given time. And before you jump on going, don't believe Google, the point is that Google is telling different people different things at the same time. And surely Google's one reality should be exactly that, whether it's propaganda, lies, bollocks, or whatever. It should be the same if we're all experiencing the same reality at the same time. But we're not, and we can prove this to each other by going to Google and posting what Google is showing us. How that works, I don't know. How that works, I'm massively intrigued about. But we can speak to each other and we can show each other these things. Oh, by the way, another thing, yes, the town. The town, it's changed. It's changed loads. I can't tell you how much has changed in the town. All over the place it's changed. So many changes in one shift. It's like, but I know that we haven't finished shifting yet because I'm still in the middle of realities. I haven't settled. It's telling me two separate sides to, two opposing angles of quite a lot of stories. So I was that's why it's important that we use Google, because we all use Google for information. So surely the information, if we were in the same reality, would be saying the same thing, and it isn't. So it's just another layer. This is what we're doing. We're trying to work it out. I'm not saying anywhere. I'm nowhere near solving it. But by talking to you guys and sharing things on the Facebook the Facebook group, I can categorically say quite clearly that we are not sharing reality at the same time. We don't all come from the same place to put plonked on another place. And the differences between us, our realities, aren't the same. We don't, people seem to be catching up with things that have been my reality for a while. My heart changed in the 80s. It changed from the left to the middle in the 80s, and things like the man being buried on the moon, his ashes shot up to the moon, that was my actual reality. There's quite a few things that from my reality that people are now coming into, and there are things that I'm now experiencing that other people have had as a forever reality. So that's why it matters so much that we connect with each other we need to for ourselves, because we can't go through this on our own. Can you imagine not having the internet and not being able to share with each other? But yeah, It's like we really need people to understand that it's not one group of people being shifted to another Earth and you're now mingling that Earth with your Earth. It's changed massively, massively. There's many groups of us from many different realities all talking to each other. It's amazing, freaky, and I'm glad of it. So I'm just sharing that little bit of information with you. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. As always, I will post some links down to like the two what's the word? Completely opposite stories as to where we are with quantum computers in the space of 4 hours. This totally complete opposite of each other in the space of 4 hours. So I'll pop anything that I think is of relevance or you'd like to see down on the comments, and you let me know what you think, please, guys. Oh, by the way, I have removed trolls because they were upsetting other people. I mean, I don't care what they say about me. I mean, it really doesn't bother me, but I know that it does bother other people. So I've found out how to block, and if they come back or anybody comes back, they're just being removed and blocked straight away. The Facebook group, we don't tolerate trolls anyway. It's a safe place for us to discuss everything that we need to, bouncing ideas off each other. It's all about thought, sharing our realities, the changes that we're seeing happen, each other's thoughts on it. I mean, it's that kind of thing that counts. It's not just looking for residue. It's like there are many layers to this, and it's only by talking to each other that we can get to that. So I know this has probably been quite a long and rambling one, but I really just needed to get those things out there because that's the fact of the matter. I'm in between realities at the moment. I'm not sure where you are. I know most of you haven't got the polar ice cap like I have, even though, no, it doesn't show it on Google, and there's no reason why it shouldn't, because there's all kinds of other satellite imagery of the North Pole that I can see all over the place. So why Google isn't doing it on Google Earth, I really don't know. And in this reality, they can't be asked to give an explanation to it either, so we don't know. Anyway, thanks very much as always for listening to me, for sharing your experiences, your stories, for all your support and your love, and just for being here for me. Till next time, guys, in whatever reality we find ourselves in. My love to you all.